It's a really good read. I am actually going to be reading to you guys a couple of the stories from here. Hopefully you all like it. Even if you don't like it, you still have to buy the book. Okay? No exceptions. Right? On Amazon. We have hard copies also, and we have soft copies. Hard copies are 35, soft copies are 25. So you can take this. I am Lotuz, and from now, I'm going to be reading The Rose and the Stone, which is from this book, The Prose of Love. The rose and the stone, eternal symbols of love and fidelity, met in the gardens of a poet's mind one day. The rose was singing ever so brightly and flirting with the sun. Soon I will go to the gardens of paradise, she sung, before this very day is done. How so? Inquired the stone, who languished in her slender shadow. Well, replied the rose, when a prince plucks a rose for his lover, the better side of his heart. The rose goes to paradise. Really? Sighed the stone. Yes. So the rose, the religion of rose is love. And when the lover hears my song, he will love me and give me to his lady. Paradise, paradise, paradise. I shall be planted again in paradise. What are you thinking of? A man can't hear a rose sing, replied the stone. Not his ears, but his heart. The heart can see and hear. Then the stone began to cry, and a small puddle pooled nearby. I am a stone, he sighed. People step on stones. They always throw me around or kick me when I'm laying on the ground. Don't cry, cautioned the rose. Crying is of no use. Crying is self-abuse. Sing, stone, sing. Sing of love, sing of butterflies and beautiful trees. Sing of living and giving. Sing until you smile. Mr. Stone, sing with me a while. So, the rose and the stone sang all afternoon. Kind of like we're doing today, right? Till the moon descended into the poet's mind and night stars closed the blinds of another day gone by. The sun rose in an azure sky and a whistling prince of a man walked by in the garden. Let's sing, said the rose to the stone. Just as soon as they sang together, the prince looked down and saw a rose and gold nugget lying on the ground. He picked them both up with a racing heart and proud hands and gave both to a woman. To the woman who owned his heart. I'll see you in paradise, sighed the rose. I'll beat you there, laughed the stone, who was now a gold nugget smiling in the sun. The religion of rose is love, she cried, as she placed in a crystal vase of sparkling water. I love you, sighed the rose, as it shined on the feet of a princess on her throne. That is a beautiful story. That's beautiful. The rose and the stone. Thank you. I wish I could write like that. Guys, pick your book. It's beautiful read, I'm telling you. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to be reading another beautiful story. This one's called By Ravenfield. Love is in the air, springtime, right? Blossoms. Heaven always keeps a stride in mystic gate, but sometimes those who love must wait. Like the cherry blossom waits for its sweet fruit, person in seed who waits to reap. A chirping sparrow waits his turn to seed. Like lonely winter waits for spring. Once, on a high windy hill, two lovers kissed in the morning mist. The sun, Mata, high of heaven, was a witness. This happened very long ago, when spring seemed to last for 1,000 years. His name was Henry. He was tall and handsome like summer. She, Ignacia, was a woman of dazzling and dangerous beauty from the land of the rising sun, far across the ocean. She was sweet like spring. Each day, Henry and Ignacia met on the high and windy hill, and it was spring for a while. Then, one day, the emissaries of the Ice Emperor suddenly descended with orders to arrest and deport Ignacia. The crime was that Ignacia was an exquisitely beautiful woman, and the jealous empress would not allow another beautiful woman to live in her kingdom. Destroy her beauty, the empress screamed. Better yet, feed her to the Komodo dragons of Komodo Island. So the emissaries of the Ice Emperor, also referred to as the Orange Shadow, descended and roughly grabbed the delicate Ignacia as if tearing petals from a rose. Where are you taking her? Henry demanded, as emissaries slapped ice chain handcuffs on Ignacia's gentle wrist. Stay back, Henry, or we will murder spring and summer right here. We have been authorized by the Orange One to deport her to 1,000 Dragons Island, scoffed the ice emissary, the most frigid and reinforced voice ever. Wait for me, darling, on this very hill, and I will come back to you. I will come back to you in spring. Wait and be patient, please, Ignacia cried, with her long, sad hair hanging down like a weeping willow. It will be spring again. I will see you. An ice emissary then covered her mouth and filled ice with cloth. There is no return where you're going, sweetheart, they said. Don't worry, darling, Henry replied. I will wait for you. I will find you, he yelled. And as the weather suddenly turned cold and the leaves fell down from the trees who lived on the hill, minutes later, snow covered the entire hill where the two lovers once stood. The ice had come and gone. They had snatched Ignacia from spring and threatened the promise of summer. Yet somehow, the seasons of spring and summer still lived in his heart. For days and then years, Henry searched for Ignacia, and every spring day Henry came to the hill at dawn and waited for his beloved. But she was nowhere to be found. Would she ever return? He cried. Every legal means to find out where the ice has taken her. He would gladly have joined her. Then one day, he died while waiting on that hill. He died standing tall, looking outward toward the restless sea, his eyes lifted towards the heaven and the horizon. He cried in his heart, Lord, I have waited. I am of those who have faith and patience. Then he looked down upon himself. He had become a handsome personage tree with 6 ripe persimmon fruits. For 100 years he stood and waited. While he grew on that lonely hill with his eyes fixed upon the sea, his branches were lifted toward the sky as if in prayer. He waited. He never hesitated in hope, faith, or patience. He hoped to one day see her again. Then one spring, the 7th fruit appeared on his branches. It was at this time that he heard a song in the wind. It was Ignacia's delicate voice. It was her voice in the wind, her voice on the bird. It is Ikamasa, don't you recognize me? I have returned as I promised. My arms are now wings. I left as knowledge and returned as wisdom. I have returned from destiny. I love you, Henry. I love you too, whispered the personal tree. Never leave me again, my love. I waited for you, she sang, and I will never leave you again. I will build my nest and stay in your arms forever, Henry. We waited too, shouted the hills. We too declared the daffodils. We too shouted the skies. Verily, time is the servant of those who love, who are faithful and enduring. Love is the only pure song. Knowledge and wisdom belong to each other. Through the portrait of the seasons and the matrix of modern civilizations, they give each other a reason to exist. So, on that high and windy hill, they met again and again in the morning mist. Soon, by the mercy of heaven, they resumed their human form as a man and a woman once again. However, this time, they were much older. In their old age, they become caretakers of the village orphans. Still daily, they meet on the hill at dawn under the personal tree who hosted their reunion. Of time and fortune overtook those two. They had gone to the hill one day in May and disappeared in the midst of the morning's sweet dewy kiss. Their bodies were never found. Nevertheless, for some strange reason, the personal tree and blue-winged bird who nested there thrived for another 1,000 years. During that time, thousands of lovers from the four corners of the earth, the four seasons of the time, came to see the inseparable Azure bird, who lived in the inseparable personal tree. And so we have it. The sun, Mata, was a witness to this story, as was the eye of my heart. The moon, Bulan, was a witness to this story, as was the air of my soul. Heaven always astride its mystic beauty. But sometimes those who love must often wait. So, like the cherry blossom waits for a sweet fruit, like a personal seed who waits to root, like a chirping sparrow waits to turn to sing, like lonely winter waits for spring. I'm telling you, this book is so beautiful. Like, let me show you this. Let me show y'all this book. This is supposed to look, we're in New York, okay? All of you guys got to get this book, okay? I want to see you all with this book, The Prose of Love. Hard copy is only $35. Soft copy is $25, and you can also download it. And soon enough, there'll be audio with my voice on it, hopefully. Thank you all so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all for enjoying this beautiful weather, beautiful music. Keep it close.
Thank you. Here.